Hi there, welcome to another episode of It Takes Work. The It Takes Work series brought to you by the Accounting Academy. I am Makita Skinner Howard, and if you don't know, I'll be your host for the duration of this series. Today, I'll be chatting with a gentleman, a young man that I totally look up to. He has been able to create waves in the education industry. He has been able to use social media and has been using it very creatively to edutain. Yes, you heard that correct. He's mixing education and entertainment on YouTube. Let me get my stats correct. He has 53K subscribers on YouTube, 23K followers on Instagram, right? And this is a teaching or education account. So yeah, when I tell you guys, I totally look up to him. It's no joke. I call him the maths boss. Does that ring any bell to you guys? Do you have any idea who that may be? All right. If you cannot know who he is, or if you don't know who he is by now and you're seeing him on the screen, then something is totally wrong. Today we will be chatting with Mr. Kerwin Springer. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for the
fantastic,
excellent introduction.
I hope I did well with that introduction. So you're on the screen, they know your name. Please tell us a little bit about yourself. Please tell us a little bit about Kerwin Springer. Who is Kerwin Springer?
Yeah, so my name is Kerwin Springer. I am an educator. I teach maths primarily. That's what I do. I teach maths, but I also make videos. And before I began teaching maths, I was already invested heavily into music, arts, video recording. So it was a natural combination of the two. And I am most known for my YouTube channel, which helps thousands of students throughout the Caribbean to do well in their exams in mathematics and other subjects.
All right, fantastic. But I think you left out one very important thing there, Kerwin. That the fact that you are also the founder of the Student Hub.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's a big thing. How can you leave that out?
Right. So earlier this year, we turned the year in 2021, but in the famous 2020 year, I created the Student Hub, which is an online platform that functions in 3 branches. It functions by providing free resources, free education to students in the form of the Student Hub Discord server, which has 10,000 students in it. We have premium classes, which we offer in 30 plus subjects, going up the road to 40 different subject areas in CSEC, CAPE, and SCA, and lower school. And we have resources. So we have books and other ebooks and other material for the students to buy as well. So that the Student Hub, it's a baby, but it's a big baby. It's a baby. It started like 4 months ago. And we only recently became limited liability. We were sole trader at first. We only recently became limited liability. And we are doing well.
You've accomplished a lot of things. So what are 3 things you are most proud of accomplishing besides having a beautiful family?
All right. Well, the family that'll be the first one. I know
that. That's why I said the family.
So you just eliminate that out of the choices. Well, I'm really impressed with myself when I check out the YouTube numbers. Some numbers that I never really could visualize in the beginning. Right. So the fact that the YouTube channel and what we did there has offered me the opportunity to reach and touch so many students throughout the Caribbean. Some of the top students in the Caribbean, students who come on first in CXC, students who come first in their subject, first in their country. I get to know them on a first name basis and talk to them and teach them and that kind of thing. That opportunity, mind blowing. That's one thing I'm really, I don't like to use the word proud, but one thing I really impressed with myself. I'm really proud of that. Also the creation of the student hub. It wasn't easy, but it has really grown into it's a big adventure to me. It has really grown into a nice little company, and watching it begin to form a life of its own, and different parts begin to work on its own, that's something that I'm really encouraged about. And also just the general courage to pursue my dreams. It takes courage to jump out and leave your job, your government job.
Your dream job, which would be a dream job for a lot of people.
Right, a teacher, secondary school, comfortable, people will settle in that middle income and retire, get a pension, that kind of thing. I left that with a family, with those 2 kids in the background, and decided to pursue YouTube, basically, online education, and the courage to do that.
You're proud of being able to do that.
Yes.
Thumbs up to you. I made sure and told everyone that I am impressed with you, and you inspire me in the beginning, right? Guys, these are some of the reasons why he is definitely living dreams and doing some of the stuff that he wants to do. So, as you said, it's not easy. Not everybody has that courage. So it is motivating to see someone doing that, regardless of all the things that are happening around them. You've accomplished all these things. You even mentioned that forming the student hub wasn't easy. So I just want to make sure I get that correct. It wasn't easy for you to do some of the things that you did. You didn't have a smooth and an easy road to walk. It did have its challenges in between. Let me make sure that I got that correct.
Right. Yes. And it had some challenges.
Had some challenges. So you want to share, or I'd really appreciate if you can share some of the adversities or challenges you overcame on your journey to becoming the maths boss.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Like everybody could spot the winning horse at the finish line, but all the work and sleepless hours behind it. I'm a maths person, so I love to deal in numbers. Recently, I sat down and I began to crunch all the numbers that I spent teaching, building videos, YouTube. In the last 3 years, is over 10,000 hours. And that's insane. So even in the student hub, at the beginning, I was working 15-hour days, 7 days a week.
Wow.
So that is a challenge. Now, it may be a challenge for someone else, but for me, at least in this position, doing this thing, it didn't come across like a challenge to me. It's just, I like to do this. So it's like the person who would binge watch an entire series on Netflix, and that's a challenge. That's a challenge. But you love the show, and you watch it, or you watch a whole series of anime. It's like that to me. So that's one of the major challenges. Of course, there's challenges in running a business, being compliant with laws, working along with different employees, teachers, students. There's a lot of moving parts behind the student hub, especially since we are pretty big. We are easily the biggest online educational platform. Yeah. So there's a challenge there.
And what about challenges that you would have faced, if any, with CSEC, the examination body?
CSEC, well, the students who I taught in 2018, 2019 will know that right after the exam, CSEC wrote my employer, who would be the Ministry of Education, head of security in the ministry. I didn't even know there was a head of security in the Ministry of Education. School supervisor, principal, everybody who were above me to try to get me, basically to try and shut down my YouTube channel, because the help and the inroads that I was making into the students, somebody apparently in CXC, in the running of CXC, didn't like that. So they came up with different things. A month or two ago, I finally get the ending of that investigation, and everything is just cleared. I'm free Kerwin Springer. I'm free.
Whoa, that is crazy.
Different, charges and all these different things that they were bringing up. So even the very body that you think I am helping, there are elements in that body as students, parents, teachers, principal, tutor, teacher associations in Barbados. As people know, there are elements in that body that do not have the best interests of the students at heart. So there's always a challenge when you're running against that. You're trying to help students, they're running for maybe bottom line or money.
Wow.
That's a challenge.
That is definitely a challenge to have such a big body kind of against you. But I'm happy to hear that you were able to bring the investigation to a close and you're free of all the charges and stuff like that.
It's important to also remember that CXC, we always say CXC and refer to CXC like this giant thing in Barbados that just there's this CXC, this creature in Barbados that just churning out exams. CXC is a council. So there are different people that play. Plenty people in CXC love me. Their children may be in my classes. But there are some elements in CXC that not too fond of teachers on a whole. So it's easy to throw a teacher underneath the bus.
Wow. Challenges. We somehow can't seem to have enough of them. And one of the things, Kerwin, even when we spoke before the interview, I told you that, a lot of students do not realize that they will have to face challenges. They have to put in the work. And that is the whole mission behind this series, to get students to see that the successful people that they're seeing in society, we had to put in our fair share of work, right? So I'm happy that you touched on some of the challenges that you overcame. And one of the things that you pointed out is that you find yourself to be very optimistic. So I believe that will carry you forward to help you deal with any other challenges that you may face. Whatever you're doing is working right now. How do you keep going and executing despite challenges?
Right. So
do you have a formula?
Yeah, I kind of have a formula, but as you touch on optimistic, my personality is very optimistic. My friends say wait now, we have never seen you angry, we have never seen you sad, we have never seen you. So it's just, and it's not that I'm immune to any negative feelings, but I am by nature a very optimistic person. So that kind of helps in what I do. So that's a formula, genetics. But other than that, it's about being patient with yourself. Comparison could sometimes be, the theft of happiness. So you comparing yourself at the starting line to somebody at the finish line. You just need to be, to me, what keeps me going and what keeps me accomplishing new things. It's a journey, it's an adventure, it's a what if I can discipline myself to achieve the full potential? What if I can make more money? What if I can reach more students? What if I can, and as a maths teacher, it's just trying to solve that equation all the time. So in different things, I believe there's an equation to solve it. Even if we want to use the make more money, all right, so I did this, it got me 50,000, I just need to do 2 times this to get 100,000.
Yeah.
So, and it's very cliche. People say failures will be in the way and you don't get disappointed by the failures, but that is absolutely the truth. In maths, you learn by iterating what didn't work and getting into what worked. Yeah. So the same thing in life. Don't be too harsh on yourself on failures. I mean, be critical and learn from it, but don't think it's the end of the world if you fail an exam, you fail CXC, your business didn't catch in the first place. It's all about if you are learning from it.
Yeah. And if you're taking the time to reflect, I don't know if you can see what I have on behind me here, but it actually says pray and work, right?
Yes.
We pray. P stands for planning, R stands for reflecting. So it's interesting that you touch on that. They're reflecting, looking at your failures, looking at what you did. You said you talk about the 50,000 or the 50% and then multiplying that by 2. It's really important for us to reflect. So here you go again. Thumbs up to you. A would be for affirmations, affirming yourself, speaking positively to yourself. And Y would be yearning. To go much more than just planning, but having a deep desire to accomplish what you want to accomplish.
I always notice that affirmation, I could give you a high five for that. affirmation, I always talking to myself and always very self-aware to remove any negative language from myself, any even just thoughts from myself. I'm always fixing that. So all, we are humans, we'll feel.
Yeah.
But I'm always fixing that. That's very, very important. Just people's vocabulary alone, we can learn a lot from that.
That's something that I've realized along the way as well, because I also had my fair share of adversities, etc. But there's so much out there negative. Why we have to be negative and speak to our own self negatively? I mean, it may come up, but you have to flip that ASAP, right? As quick as possible and speaking to yourself, use the promises of the Lord, etc. Be your biggest cheerleader. That's what it works for me, and I ask people to do the same thing. So pray and work.
100%.
Yeah, not working alone, because we can't do anything without the Holy Spirit, not praying alone, right? There are a few people who believe that, just praying alone is everything. But what I've realized, I mean, I don't mean to go off and preach or anything, but
preach, man. Amen.
I realized that in the Bible, God will always give people an instruction, and they would have work to do, right? So if we have to, whatever healing, whatever miracle, He would give an instruction, and then the person had work to do. They had work to carry out. So I always say pray and work, right? So again, thumbs up on the reflecting. And I guess you gave me a thumbs up on the affirmation.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So we're almost to the end. You are somebody in the limelight. You're somebody that I consider to be successful, and a lot of other people will consider to be successful. What final words would you have for a student who is viewing this video and is finding it hard to execute? They're finding it hard to put in the work. What final words do you have for them?
It's very dynamic what each student face in the examination situation. Some students may have anxiety problems. Some students may have problems at home. Some students may have a bad foundation in the learning, and they need to not do the exam and go back and learn in 2 years. So it's very dynamic. I'm a champion for encouraging people to be very self-aware, become in tune with what makes you learn, become in tune with where the prayer comes in reflection, becomes in tune with what makes you take where you feel you should end up. Because if you don't have something solid to aim towards, you just doing work in vain. So that's essential. You should always be looking inwards and what is your drive, what is your goal. So as soon as you begin to get solid in that, don't be paranoid if you are in university and you're too sure you know what you want to do in life or anything like that. But still keep looking inwards, and as soon as you are sure about that, then you work towards that. You work towards that like relentless. Relentless is one of the words I use with the employees as well. Right. Work towards that relentless. We are very aggressive in what we do. We are very relentless in what we do. And we also have a lot of fun along the way. Right now, I'm going to shoot a video for TikTok right after this with some new sounds. You find ways to balance the grit and the dirt with the cotton candy and the popcorn and the likes and the comments and the fun and the gaming competition. So it's you the same way how I'm doing that in the student hub, I would try and do that in my life. So my goals, my ambition, my drive, my why, big why answers everything and will kind of pull the work out of me. The procrastination gets put on the back burner for that.
Okay, so you're saying have a why, basically, have a goal, have a plan, be self-aware, be relentless, basically, pick yourself back up, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Something else you said that have fun, mix it up. Well, that's part of the balance as well. You said something else earlier about not being afraid to fail, more or less.
Yeah. Failure is there are so many projects that I did that didn't make the
score. That didn't make the gram.
Yeah. But I just need to score on the big ones here and there.
Yeah.
Right? But there are so many projects, so many empty wells. I poured a lot of money down,
Wow.
or time and attention, and I always take away the lesson from it. So
Yes.
so even if it didn't score directly, indirectly it scored for me because I learned stuff out of that.
It sounds good, and there you have it, guys. Even Matt's boss, even Mr. Kerwin Springer, the king of edutainment, as I would like to say now.
You're crowning me now. You're crowning me now.
Well, no, but it's true. I mean, you have it down when it comes to that balance of education and entertainment, right? We see it taking over TikTok in a little bit. Yet to reach there, but pray for me. Yeah,
TikTok
guys, there you have it.
a platform. Oh my gosh. TikTok is a platform with a lot of attention from for ages from 1 to 4. It is a dangerous platform. I wouldn't necessarily have my child on TikTok. I mean, there are some elements in TikTok that are not too nice, but I am not very judgmental as a person. I'm able to go in anyway and still function as
Shine your light.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, sounds good. So guys, there you have it. We have Mr. Kerwin Springer sharing with us a little bit about some of the challenges that he faced and overcame. And I hope this sets a platform or a level for you guys to use. I hope it motivates you to, as he said, find your why, set your goals, and be relentless, because even if he had to face challenges, I had to face challenges, there will be other persons in the series that you're going to see who will come and share about their challenges. It's just part of life. And it's important to balance it out, as he said. Mix the cotton candy and the popcorn and the fun together with the hard work that you have to put in. All right, so that's it for us, this episode of It Takes Work. Guys, please remember, pray and work. All right, the only place success comes before work is in the dictionary. In real life, and as Chronic says, success doesn't come overnight. All right, so until the next episode, guys, that's it for us at the Accounting Academy and at the It Takes Work series. See you on the next episode.